This web talk is a think piece where I look at interesting connections between seemingly quite different modeling areas to suggest new ways of analyzing data. These connections are made possible by contrasting multi-level and single-level modeling. Some connections of this kind are well known and will not be covered here. For instance, how growth modeling can be carried out in a two-level model with data in long format, and equivalently in a single-level model with data in wide format. But there are many other connections that have not been given enough attention, I think, and that I hope you find interesting. The impetus for this talk is a new way to do latent transition analysis, but other new types of analysis are also discussed, including longitudinal factor analysis. The presentation will use some basic statistical formulas, but most of the modeling ideas will be shown in the form of figures, which are hopefully easy to understand. The figures are also useful to visually make the connections between different types of models. A key focus is how these analyses can be carried out in Mplus. And you can make connections to the Mplus website by clicking on these URLs. Mplus scripts for the Webtalk analysis are discussed in other videos. These are posted in connections with this Webtalk, together with a list of complete references for all papers that are mentioned, and the PDF handout for the talk. Slide 2 shows the outline for this web talk. A little bit over half of the web talk concerns modeling ideas, where we'll be borrowing ideas from statistics in terms of random intercepts and from psychology in terms of latent traits, and also from psychometrics, combinations of the statistics and psychology fields in terms of measurement and non-invariance. There will be some applications sprinkled into the discussions of these modeling ideas, but bullet number 2 is really where we will focus in detail on different data sets and their analyses, and we'll look at applications of latent transition analysis and extensions of that. We'll look at a couple of different data sets from the literature: mood data from Ide and Langenheine, and dating and sexual risk behavior data from Lenz and Collins, and reading proficiency from Kaplan. And then we'll ask the question at the end of that section: is LTA the right type of model? So we'll contrast it with some other modeling types. And then we'll turn, towards the end of the talk, we'll turn to multi-level time series analysis that we call DSEM, dynamic structural equation modeling, and see how the connections can be made between multi-level and single-level modeling once again. And then in the appendices, we'll take a look at sample size requirements, and that's for LTA, with the LTA extension we're going to focus on, and also for DSEM modeling. We're going to take a look at computing time, particularly with respect to the new approach to latent transition analysis, and we're going to take a look at what Mplus has done to meet that challenge of computing time. The web talk is recorded in 16 parts, corresponding closely to the tabs here in the left margin of the PDF. This makes it easier to skip parts or replay parts that are of special interest.